Hello YouTube, what is up? This is Shatner's Prodigy, and I'm coming at you today with another episode of Fabled Quasar vs. the World. This is of course the series where I take my Fabled Quasar deck into DN's rated section and I see what I can do. First duel we're facing off against Mr. Code over here with the mixed letter and number name. I have a very mediocre hand. There's not much I can do. I set the MST just in case I end up facing down clipboards, and I want to be able to stop the scout, and I'll pass. Throughout this video, you'll see me have a side chat over there with DA squirreljinzo, and I want to give him a shout out. He's another fan. He's like Poderpoo. He liked my videos, and he hopped on last night and started chatting me up, and he was a lot of fun to talk to. We had a nice conversation going on here, and yeah. So here we see that Mr. we'll call him GU1T, so Golt, is playing whites, which is a deck that doesn't get a lot of love, or any love really. Like, outside of I Floop the Pig, I can't really think of many other people who like it. Here he set one card and then went for Liva, which is a rookie mistake by all accounts, then didn't even attack. I mean, I don't know what he thinks I'm playing. He has to know I'm playing Fabled, so I don't know what he's afraid of. But whatever, I move on to my turn, and I start getting the combo rolling. So while I go over the combo here, I just want to address a few things I might change about my channel. First things first, I want to get into kind of like a 2 video per week schedule where I'll put out a Fabled Quasar vs. the World on Monday and a Fabled Quasar vs. DevPro on Friday. So I think if I do that, and I have the sorry about that, and I have the Fabled Quasar vs. the World commentated, then I should be able to put out just a nice relaxing little video at the end of the week, Fabled Quasar vs. DevPro, that can just have some music over it. So I think that'll be relaxing. But I do have to be careful with my music use, because I was looking up at my copyright notices against my channel, and turns out most of my early videos are banned from some countries because of my illicit use of "Carry On My Wayward Son," which I mean, I own that song, and I'm not making money off these videos, so I think it's under fair use, but whatever. Whatever, you live and you learn. So anyways, here is just me going on this combo. There is no short turn in Fableds unless your hand is bad. My dog's here, a little time to vent. And here, sorry. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'll start taking out some of the, you know, more copyrighted songs from my music over videos, definitely. Funny thing happened actually. DA squirreljinzo, right? I was dueling him after I finished recording this video. And he said to me, "Here, I'm going to give you a challenge. I want you to make a deck that'll make a Quasar with 3 attacks." And so I did that. I went to DevPro, and I made my Fabled Quasar deck. I made it so I could summon a bunch of low-level monsters, right? And I bring it on to DevPro, because, you know, I don't want to just record every duel on Dueling Network, and I might misplay, and I might not get the thing on camera, and it's just a big hassle. So I go into DevPro, and I load up DevBot, and I just try against DevBot to get this deck working, and it finally works. But I get Skull Invitationed, which is the card that inflicts 300 damage to you each time a card is sent to your graveyard. I get Skull Invitationed, and that actually ends up killing me, as well as having a defense position Spirit Reaper, which I have no way of getting over. So I get the triple attacking Fabled Quasar out, but I lose, and so I save the replay. And I go back to watch it, and it looks good until like the second or third turn, whenever a message appears just saying error occurs. And I am torn up. I don't. I'm heartbroken, really. But hey, what can you do? So I'm like, you know what? I'll try again. So I go back in. I choke it so many times. There's this one video I think I recorded where I was not playing against DevBot, and I would have had it if I just played a level 6 at the time. I wasn't playing a level 6 for whatever reason. I was running Stardust Dragon instead of Powered Insectron or something, and I just choked it. But there you see I accepted a draw offer from him. I probably could have just flipped over Mind Control and he probably would have scooped, but I didn't want to prolong the duel, and I didn't want to risk him just going AFK and just leaving me to my own devices and or to quit out. So that's my reasoning for accepting the draw. I just didn't want this video to crawl to a halt. Movie Maker is very picky about what it lets you speed up and what it doesn't, so this is all going at 1.75x, if you guys are wondering, which is the highest I can get it to go without encountering weird lag. And by weird lag, I just mean stuff that, you know, just doesn't make sense. So, I wish I could get it up higher because this is still kind of normal pace, but 2x is just, I just don't like the way it feels with the animations of Dueling Network. So here you see my most up-to-date Fabled Quasar build. It can pull some shenanigans. Well, I say my most up-to-date, but I added Fabled Lurian after an incident coming up here, where I could have made a very easy Fabled Quasar if I had Luri in my deck, but since I'm not running it for some reason in this build, I had to go through some very awkward channels to get that. But hey, you live and you learn. So, this duel I'm not really sure what I'm facing at first. I think it may be Mythic Rollers, I think it may be any number of things, so I decided to just put up TG Hyper Librarian and post there to see if he pokes at it, see if he takes the bait, see if he MSTs my card. 1 day a piece is played, and, you know, it's 1 day a piece. I like the card, gives me a plus. He plays Duality, and I see, I think the name is Azure Dragon Summoner. He's a 1500 attack, 400 defense, level 4 monster whose effect is, when he's destroyed by balance into the graveyard, you can add 1 spellcaster or dragon normal type monster from your deck to your hand. So he works like Emissary of the Afterlife, I think is the card, insofar as he just grabs 1 piece of Exodia from your deck for you. So, not too wild about that, to find out that I'm actually playing Exodia. And if you look at the duel times, this is by far the longest duel. And there I pitched Fabled Cross, which is a misplay, as we'll see later on. Because if I hadn't pitched Fabled Cross, I could use the Foolish Burial I've set down to dump a CaBa into the graveyard, right? And then I could have discarded Cross with Nizuchi to special summon Nizuchi and CaBa, and then use Mind Control to take control of his Dragon Summoner. And then I could have made Reagan using CaBa and Dragon Summoner, and depending on I could have made Reagan, my apologies, using CaBa and Dragon Summoner, and from there, who knows what I could have done. But I didn't do that. I discarded the Crust, taking a neg. I mean, why would I even do that? Whatever. It happens. And there I scrub out and completely forget about 1 day a piece. I shouldn't do that, but I do it all the time. Whatever. So here we see card destruction, which does me no good because it doesn't discard. But I've drawn to some pretty good cards. I mean, truth be told, I would rather have these cards than some other hands that I can think of. And here he reveals that he is indeed playing Exodia, and I switch to the dramatic Innocence is Lost filter, so we can just admire how sad it is that this guy was lost to the dark side. Ugh, look at that filth going to his hand. take a moment to mourn with me. Mourn that guy's lost soul. Pity. Anyways, Dark World Dealings does trigger, so I get my 1800 attack Cerebel. I like Cerebel. I like how he special summons himself as an 1800 monster. He's a beat stick. He beats over a lot, actually. You'd be surprised. He beats over hands from medium too, but I wouldn't recommend that unless you're beating over Ice Hand. He beats over almost everything in the Madolche deck. He beats over just tons and tons of stuff. So here, he just passes turn back to me, and I go into main phase 1. And as you see, I'm still having my little side chat there with DA squirreljinzo. Huge shout out to him. He's really a great guy. I mean, he made this experience much more enjoyable than it would have been if he hadn't been there. That's for sure. Yeah. I'm glad he was there, truth be told. So here I decided to go for the Shooting Quasar Dragon. Pretty standard play. I mean, if you want me to explain it, I can. What I'm basically doing is discarding Crust with Nazuchi, and Nazuchi's effect will special summon out Cerebel, and then Crust's effect will special summon out Chawa, and then I'll go for I'll go for Phonon and the TG Hyper Librarian and Armory Arm. Phonon Pulse Dragon, which is such a good card. I mean, I feel like I've said it every commentary, but it's always true. That card just makes this deck what it is. It's really, really a fantastic card. Here, I negate his Azure Eyes Dragon Summoner because I don't want him getting any more pieces of Exodia to his hand. Because really, if he gets Exodia to his hand, what do I even have Quasar on field for? I mean, come on. And I'm glad I was able to pull off Quasar against an Exodia deck. This is not my normal method of dealing with Exodia. As you'll see later in the video, my normal method of dealing with Exodia is to just taunt them, basically, until they either quit or they just taunt me back and go AFK. It's a really, actually, very effective way to get them, but this guy was, I mean, I don't want to say he was playing good Exodia, but he was interacting at least. He wasn't sitting behind, as you'll see this other guy, he wasn't sitting behind 5 back row per turn, and here I decided to use Raven as a beater, because she can get up pretty high, so here she's at 2100, which is just enough to attack per game if he doesn't have any attack stoppers, which it turns out he doesn't. And obviously attack with Raven first, so I don't have a 4000 Gores token, because if they summon a Gores and you don't negate its effect, they just have a 4000 token they can put in defense and not do anything with, and you have nothing that can run it over. You have literally nothing in your entire deck that can get over a 4000 Gores token. So there is that you want to be wary of. See, that's why I'm always a little bit hesitant with my Quasar negates. Here I'm playing up against, doesn't matter because he just quit right out. I feel like that was a bit cheese, but you know, whatever. It's what you gotta deal with whenever you play in the pubs. And here we play against Itz CaBa, and you know, I know there's a difference between not being able to summon Shooting Quasar Dragon and bricking, but this hand is, it's towing the line. Because I can do things with it, like, I could, in theory, maybe just set Tuningware and then hope I can summon out Glow Bulb next turn, but I would consider this hand a brick. I really would. Like, what am I supposed to do with this hand? This hand is atrocious. Anyways, he summons Lila, and he just pops my back row. I tell him, pro tip, always attack with Lumina first, because why wouldn't you? And he's like, oh, you don't always want to do that. What if your back row was a battle trap? I'm like, what? It doesn't make any sense. Why did my back row being a battle trap stop you in any way? Aside from the fact you wouldn't get a pop it, which it's off the field anyways, but whatever. I guess you really wanted those 3 mils. So here, it can be argued that I should have just gone for TG Hyperlibrarian and, I don't know, burn the rest of my hand? I don't know. There's really nothing I can do. I don't know how I'll play out of this. BA squirreljinzo has faith in me. I'm really just looking for anything to get an edge right now. And then he just quits out. I'm happy. I mean, I wasn't going to play out that any other way. And I actually, as you see here, I actually stopped recording because I think that that's 5, but I miscounted. It's only 4. So whenever I was editing, I just hopped back on to grab another one. This is not the same build of the deck as I was using in the video. This is a completely different build. Well, I say completely different, but I took out I think max booster for a Lurie. I like Boost Warrior. Did I say max booster? I like Boost Warrior. He's pretty good. But I feel like Lurie just serves the purpose that I need him for better. This hand is pretty good. I wish I had a monster to use double summon with, but I can see how you could argue that I should have used it with Grandechioda. But whatever. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. So, here I'm trying to just... I actually gave it a name whenever I was dueling BA squirreljinzo after this. I said, this is the part of the play I call draw good or die, where I win or lose at this point entirely based on what I rip, and there I rip godly. I rip exactly what I need, and I'm laughing to myself. I'm just chuckling. I'm like, man, I should have the Quasar in the bag at this point. I mean, look at me. I just need a level 2 synchro monster. I have level 2 tuner monster. I have double summon. I'm good. I'm on top of the world, and I don't. Oh, I guess I didn't. What did I take out? I really don't know what I took out. Sorry. Anyways, it doesn't matter. You can always find the most up-to-date deck list I have on my Dueling Network profile. It is the first link above the funny pictures I find. Here, I immediately think HAT, which is a dead deck, but I wouldn't put it past someone to be playing it. But then he special summons Battle Fader, so I'm like, is this another Exodia deck? I mean, come on, I just faced one, but I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's not, but then we see Exodia. And yes, we're back. We are back in the Mourning the Lost Innocence cam. Look at this kid. Putting it back to 1.0 speed. Wallow in the misery of this guy. And here, I realize I'm not getting anything anytime soon, so I decided to poke at him. I'm like, oh, hey, I'll be playing Yu-Gi-Oh over here. You want to go play Solitaire in the corner? I hear CNN has 3 peaks. Which, they do. I do like 3-peak Solitaire. It's good. It's a lot better, in my opinion, than a normal Solitaire. And here you see he just goes ham-wide on the chains, which, whatever. I think he actually draws for Reckless here. I'm not sure. No, he doesn't. Okay. And there he uses Duality. I'm not sure I quite understand, per se, what this guy's obsession is with just Exodia, because he is pretty adamant about getting Exodia, because, I don't know how people can play stall. I really don't. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm like the bastion of aggro players, like, I'll sit on a Quasar all game if I have to, but at least I summoned a Quasar. Like, what did you do? What did you really do? You got 5 cards in your hand with the help of 40 draw cards and 40 stall cards? That's not an accomplishment, but whatever. That's just my opinion. I mean, here he flips over everything, and I'm like, oh, negate, threatening roar, and he's like, okay, you can do that. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to swing in for everything then. But as I attack, I get Battle Fader. Whatever. So there he attempts to put a counter on Shard of Greed, but I say no because he did not draw during his normal draw phase. He gets another piece of Exodia, but I'm not going to put it into the super slow-mo cam. But anyways, this duel here is drawing to a close, as with this episode of Fabled Quasar versus the world. Thank you for watching very much. I can hear the music swelling. I can see the end card coming in. The end is near. And have a good day.